Hey everybody, it's Josh with Nerds That Geek, and I'm here with Dacia Arnold here at Denver PopCon Day 2. Day 2, holy cow, I'm tired already. How are you today?
I'm doing great. It's like Saturday number 2. Yesterday was nuts.
I know, for a Friday, that was a great turnout.
It was a great turnout.
How'd you do so far?
So far, I can't complain. I've been super busy doing panels and interviews and things that I still managed to, I'm down to the last books. This is all. This is it. Everything's out. Come get it while you can.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So tell me about your newest adventure in writing and how you got there.
Oh, great. So I'm actually a brand new writer. I just started writing in 2015. My first novel, Apparent Power, came out the end of 2018, so it's still pretty new. It's dystopian mom fiction. So imagine like a Divergent, but the mom saves the world instead of the teenage girl. It's got a lot of the DIA conspiracy with the underground city, the New World Order, some of the rumors with the artwork and mass genocide. It's makes for a good story.
That's awesome. So tell me, how did you come up with the story, and what was your inspiration?
No. So at the time that I was decided to write a book, there was a show called Revolution on TV, and in Revolution it's this dystopian world where they cannot use electricity, so I like that concept. I also read a ton of YA dystopian novels and fell in love with the story arcs, and so I just married those two things together, and here we are.
That's awesome. What brought you to actually writing a book? What was your deciding factor?
So I'm a daddy's girl. My dad was in the military for 24 years, and so to bridge that relationship gap between my dad and I joined the Army, and I was in the military for 10 years. I deployed twice. When my dad retired, he published a dystopian novel himself that he'd been working on since high school. So when I got out of the military, I was like, oh great, now I'm going to be a writer, and I did.
That's great. What is your writing process as far as coming up with the idea or characters and then the actual story arc itself?
So I'm a very auditory learner. A lot of my story is developed by phone calls with my little sister and her just listening to me go, oh my god, that's a great idea.
If you could write for any book that's out there, any superhero or whatever, doesn't matter the character, who would you like to write for?
As a female veteran, I would be honored to write for Captain Marvel. I identified far more with Captain Marvel than I did like the Wonder Woman movie. Just the whole getting back up montage. I'm a crier, I cry at everything, but that whole get knocked down, get back up, all the way from when she was a child until like that moment as an adult and as a superhero, I just totally identified with that, and I would really be honored to write for Captain Marvel.
That's great, and it is a female writer that's on it right now.
Oh, good.
I believe.
I'm not familiar with the writers.
I'm not super familiar either, so that might not even be true. So far, what other shows have you done, and do you enjoy the Comic-Con experience?
So this is my first big con as an author. I've done many cons at my kids' school and stuff like that, but I hope to do a lot more of like something of this magnitude, maybe like Walker Stalker Con in Atlanta next year.
So the dystopian the motif no, let's go with motif. Why do you like to stay there or write from that point of view?
So as a veteran, I am constantly like, there's like the switch with law enforcement, military, you turn on and off. It's like a hypervigilance, and so you're constantly scanning for a threat, even though in our society it's not always there. In a dystopian society, it's likely always there. So that's why I like to explore those threats and keep you on your toes.
So as a veteran, is part of being a veteran bringing the story to these books that you're interested in writing? Is there personal stories that are in there, or close to personal stories?
I actually like, so not a lot of people can relate to being in the military. So I like to write moms that that are pushed to their their breaking point. I know as a teenager I was a freaking idiot, okay? But now as a mom, I can make a baby carrier out of a sweatshirt and a hairband. Like, we just figure it out. And I find that having the background of survival that I have and applying that to motherhood in real life and what you would do as a mother to not only keep yourself alive, but keep your little people alive as well is something a lot of people can relate to.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, great. You can find me and my books at daciamarnold.com. You can also find me, same thing, Dacia M. Arnold on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.
That's awesome. And one last thing, if you could be any superhero or have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh man, did I say Captain Marvel?
You did say Captain Marvel.
I would absolutely be Captain Marvel. She is a force to be reckoned with.
That's great. Well, that's all for us from Nerds That Geek on day 2 with Dacia Arnold. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time. I hope the rest of your weekend is awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.